Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
Faygo Red Bottom, 99 cents.
That's a delicacy.
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah.
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Push in E?
You know, I think it could go places, honestly.
We're hot right now. We're taking two of the hottest memes are out there and
We're spinning them.
making one.
It's like
Making a pizza.
It's like making a pizza.
Everyone loved dough.
A little bit of pepperoni.
Everyone loved sauce.
Everyone a
put
little
them
bit
together.
of pepperoni.
Yeah.
A little bit of pepperoni.
A little more pepperoni.
A little bit of pepperoni.
Give me some pepperoni on that.
I went to a place and they offered old world pepperoni. I didn't know that we could time travel with pizza.
I said, no, give me some of the future pepperoni. actually.
yeah. Give me some of that Tomorrowsville pizza.
Oh, dude, tomorrow's day?
Tomorrow's
Super
day.
excited about tomorrow's day.
I feel like I'm always too early, though. Just a little bit ahead.
I always put out milk and cookies tonight for tomorrow's day.
And then I'm always like, oh, wait, it's tomorrow.
And then I forgot. Yeah, it's tomorrow. So,
Right.
Hey, welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio. We're saving the underground music scene. To my right, Shani.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Hello.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style. You can text in live at 216-859-8699. Make your tomorrow's day wish at 216-859-8699. We'll let you know tomorrow if it came true or not. If you're listening on this Monday live, you can do so on Live 365 or us-radio.com, WSRRradio.com, or download the free WSRR Radio mobile app.
Yeah!
You can take us with you wherever you go. You can go to WSRRadio.com to get the links for both the Google Play and the Apple App Store. The Google Play has a couple more hoops you have to jump through at the moment.
We're
but
working on the kinks, all right?
We're getting the kinks out.
Can we bring them back in? I like them.
We're bringing them to the doctor's office.
No! All
A
right.
piss kink.
I got one of those.
Well, then you belong in this Scottish doctor's
Yeah.
office.
So
Oi, lassie. Oi.
there's a
That's what they say, right?
It's on me, yeah.
Lassie.
I was kind of a pirate. I was less Scottish and more
Yeah, they're all
of the sea.
They're all the same.
I'm gonna call it a hospital because they call
It's
it
a
a clinic,
hospital.
but
Yeah,
they
no.
also call it a surgery unit.
That was
so, like,
that was my first question because it says medical clinic in like the headline, and so I was like, is this a hospital or what? And I think they're just like, oh, it's a medical clinic, innit? You
And then
know?
immediately in the next line it says the surgery facility.
yeah.
So I think they're
basically.
just calling it.
That or they have like the best fucking urgent cares where you can get surgery.
I will say, I did not know that there was a difference between like there are nursing homes and
assisted living homes.
assisted living
yeah.
homes and like assisted living facilities, and there's
Don't you deal with those for a living?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Through what I do, I found out that
I
there's
thought this was like a recent thing for you. Like,
No.
Yesterday you figured this out.
no. Through what
Yeah,
I do,
tomorrow.
it's like tomorrow's day,
Tomorrow's day, you're right.
big holiday
Big
tomorrow.
holiday.
But yeah, there's like layers to it. So I was wondering
Like
if
onions.
a medical clinic was like a lower grade, like
Right.
Yeah.
almost like a minute clinic or something like that we
Yeah.
have here. You know
But
what I mean?
I'm from what we gathered, it's
Right.
not.
Right.
So I'm just gonna refer to it as
It's a hospital.
It's a hospital.
Yeah. So what's going on at
hospital?
this hospital?
A hospital in Scotland.
Right.
Lassie.
It has now put like a
Ahoy.
massive PSA, I guess, to
Oh,
all
PSA.
to all of their patrons that they are no longer accepting unsolicited urine samples.
I have the direct quote right here.
Yeah.
If you'd like. Please be advised that we are no longer able to accept urine samples unless they have been specifically requested by the practice. This change is necessary due to the high volume of inappropriate or unsolicited samples being submitted, which affects our ability to provide timely care to all patients.
I have two takeaways. The biggest of which being why were they accepting them before?
Yes.
But I also would like to point out the fact that they're saying this as if like they have to break the news gently to their community. Like it's a super big PSA. Like, guys, we're sorry. We hope you can forgive us. We can no longer accept unsolicited piss samples at this time.
So this is
My question also is why are people going to the doctor's office and just
dropping
bringing
off.
their pee? Okay, listeners,
It's kind of funny.
Here's another layer.
I'm not gonna
That's kind
lie.
of a
It's
good
kind
point.
of a good bit.
Kind of a sick prank.
The additional layer to this is that they are bringing their own piss in their own containers
yeah, it's
Right.
from
not.
home.
Which obviously, if they're bringing their piss, it's from a container.
You're
You-
bottling it yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is another quote from this is a representative of the hospital or the medical clinic.
Yeah.
Each unsolicited sample handed in requires time and medical supplies to test in practice. Contact the patient for information and then interpret the results and or send away for further testing. So like
So they're actually like analyzing the piss people are dropping off at random.
which
But
is
why?
crazy.
Slow day.
What says
Slow
they
day at
have
the
to?
clinic.
Yeah, well what says they have to? Furthermore, how do they have the patient's information?
No, and that's my thought process is they're taking this in. There has to be someone at the front desk. Someone shows up, stranger shows up with a water bottle full of piss and goes,
Ziploc
I
bag
want to
full of
drop
piss.
I want to drop off a urine sample, and the person at the desk has to go, okay, what's your name and address?
You know what?
And they check it in.
You know what? The way that you are phrasing this hypothetical scenario to me makes a lot more sense now. I genuinely was thinking a homeless dude was pissing in a beer bottle and leaving it at the front door of the hospital.
And they were like, oh
yeah,
boy.
the doctor's
new
like
sample.
walking out and they're like, "Oh,
I know what I'm doing
yeah, I
tomorrow.
got to take this down to research and analytics." Like, what? No, that makes a lot more sense. It was probably people who were genuinely trying to like get piss tests and they were dropping them off at the front desk.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Which like
Still bad practice. Don't do that shit. And don't take that shit.
yeah, how are they taking it?
And
That's
how
a
are
front
there
desk lady's fault. I'm on your side.
How are there so many people in the general public that were just like, yeah, I'm going to drop my piss off at the hospital for testing?
Right.
I wonder if that's what this specific hospital is known for.
the
They're like,
piss
oh, you need to
hospital?
get a piss test for work?
You
I
go
know
to-
the place.
Yeah, you go to this place.
You
right
go to
here.
5th Street. You just show up and drop it off.
They'll hook you up.
Everyone I know drops their piss off there.
Yeah, you have to, dude.
They're treating it like it's. You ever go to like AutoZone to drop off old oil and take your old motor oil and just drop it off there? Or like you go to a mechanic and that you can put like shit you found in the road. Like, oh, I was pulling to the
Yeah,
parking
yeah.
lot and they had this nut, so I throw it in there. They're not dropping off nut. They're dropping off piss. They could probably do both.
It's kind of a power move, honestly.
I-
It's like really disrespectful,
It's inspired me.
but it's kind of a power
No.
move. Well, I'm not showing up at random places with my piss. Let me get that clear. Well,
you have in the past.
well. Let me backtrack even further.
Yeah.
The piss is in my body
Sure,
sometimes,
Sure.
but I'm not expelling the piss.
Imagine driving in the car with a jar of your
Yeah.
own piss.
In the cup holder.
Well, I mean, you have to do that. Sometimes they ask you to take like a urine sample at home, and they give you but they give
they
you
give you the thing.
a specific thing to
Yeah.
pee in.
Hang on. Maybe I'm just behind with the times here. When they give you the thing to piss in at home, don't they usually give you like a box to send it back to the fucking place in?
I think you can
They
also
usually-
just drop because they have like drop off containers in like the front of hospitals.
Okay,
where you
yeah, that
can,
makes
like-
sense.
They have the bags too. Like they'll give you
Right, you're not raw
like,
dogging the
a
vial
little
of piss.
bag with like
Yeah.
the orange
Mhm.
and black symbol on there, and then they give you a label too to
Yeah.
slap on.
All
there.
right.
It's not like a little plastic baggie.
But also they requested your piss.
But genuine question: if you like went somewhere, like you had a kidney stone, that's the thing they'll test your piss for. If you have a kidney stone and they send you home, they're like, "Hey, next time you have to piss, here's a cup and a bag to drop it off in.
Mm-hmm.
We want your sample, right?"
Mm-hmm.
What if you pissed in the bag and sealed up the bag? Like kept the vial for
Yeah,
yourself for your
right.
collection,
You're like, I thought this was just
a
like-
shot glass.
Yeah, I
like
thought
a
this was
souvenir.
for me.
Yeah.
And then you keep the little vial and you piss in the bag and drop. Do you think they'd analyze it?
No, they'd ask you to go back. They'd be like, "You did this wrong, pal." They'd be
There
like,
weren't clear instructions.
"Yeah, you're kind of a dumbass."
Instructions unclear. Dick Cotton ceiling fan.
That's so funny.
I'm just saying, like this place would take it though. It seems like people are showing up.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify what containers people are showing up with. So like
I
you'd
wish
have
it
to think.
did.
You'd have to think if you knew a hospital was gonna take your piss, like unrequested. I'm
Right.
showing up with piss. They're gonna test it.
Right.
A water bottle would probably be my first go-to. But like if I don't have a water bottle, Tupperware?
See, I'm a crazy fucker. I'm picking a pill bottle because that came from the hospital. Thus, hence, it must go to the hospital from where it returned.
Right. Everything to once it returned.
Right.
But like, if you don't have an empty pill bottle lying around, do you empty out the aspirin bottle and piss in the aspirin bottle and
Maybe.
leave the label on it?
think-
So they're like, why did someone drop off aspirin?
I think I'm getting like a 500, like a big 500 pill bottle of
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
leaf or something like that. Pissing in that.
I think
With the pill still in it.
I'm getting
It's like it's like boba.
I'm getting the little sauce versions, the sauce dish versions of the mason jars with the little screw-on lids, and I'm gonna piss in that.
Mason jar full of piss.
Yep.
Hell yeah, that's kind of a power move.
Thank you.
I'm thinking like Tupperware container, like a
those-
big
the-
one.
But the lid isn't secure.
That only has to make it from my house to the hospital.
They make ones that are like sealed tight. They have like a little
the
lock,
lock?
on them, and you
Ooh.
can push it down in the middle, and it makes it like airtight.
Or
Airtight piss.
if I frequently
The doctor opens it, just flies everywhere.
pressurized,
Explodes like a pop.
Yeah.
you gotta have like the little thing on the side of it to let out the pressure first. If I'm frequently getting my piss tested,
As one does.
I'm gonna invest in not bottles to put my piss in, but rather a beer bottler, so where I could piss into an empty beer bottle and then cork it with a cap and give it to them to open with the bottle opener at the hospital.
I feel like I was hearing like songs from God.
It's my next album.
Songs from God.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
just producing.
Mine's airtight piss.
I think I'm going resealable beer bottle.
I'm
no,
going
no,
mason
not
jar.
resealable.
Yeah.
You know what? Any size mason
I want to
jar
seal it.
full of piss.
I want to drink the alcohol. Obviously. I want to piss.
To fill yourself up,
right. To fill myself up.
With
And
pre-piss.
then piss in the bottle. Return it to the medical clinic.
Now, if I'm gonna pinch,
Oh, I'll pinch you.
if I'm gonna pinch to make some piss and drop it off, like, say I go to my doctor's appointment Tuesday,
Mm.
and they're like, "Hey, we're probably gonna need a urine sample, right?" They're telling me this. I don't have it set up that I'm getting one yet, but we're probably gonna need one down the road, right?
Mhm.
They give me that forewarning as they do. You know, sometime we're gonna need one from you.
In the future.
Yeah.
When, you know,
Nothing-
you'll
nothing
be back.
specific,
He's a frequent
Yeah,
flyer.
yeah. Frequent flyer miles, frequent pissing miles. If they tell me that, and I'm like, well, shit, I need to get this knocked out. I don't have time to wait. Did you turn off the laptop?
No.
Okay. If I don't have time to
I did
wait,
This time, I swear.
if I don't have time to wait, I'm getting in my car, and I'm emptying out the rest of my energy drink, and I'm pissing in the can and bringing it right back in. Say, here it is, fresh.
Now it has energy drink in your piss.
Let him
There,
know.
listen,
Let 'em
there was
know.
gonna be energy drink in my piss either way.
Right. Let him know that the beast is inside. the beast within.
Yeah.
You're
That's Monster's
pissing
slogan or something like that.
Yeah.
Straight energy
Unleash the
drink.
beast.
Unleash the beast. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, from whence it came, right?
From whence it came.
I drank the monster.
The piss from whence it came.
Yeah, I drank the monster from the can. The monster went through my esophagus into my bladder,
Here's a better question.
created piss, and
No.
now it's going back in the can.
No.
What do you mean?
Here's
no?
$1 million question
Yeah.
right here. Why don't they just have you like do a little piss onto the sample thing and then take that right to? Why don't you just piss at the facility where they test your piss instead of having to mail it out to someplace?
Yeah, well, normally when they do that, it's because like you're on something, right? Like they prescribe you something, and then days after taking it, they want to test your piss to make sure it worked. Right?
Oh,
It's usually to like a
I guess-
long-term thing.
I was thinking more in terms of like a drug test, like if you're drug tested for work.
Well, they never send a drug test home. You just go and you piss.
You could take a drug test home.
That's crazy. That's
Sometimes
crazy
they
talk.
watch you take a drug test.
Also crazy, but very understandable why.
Yeah, right.
Um,
All right.
I'm
Well.
just saying, like, if you go into the hospital and they just give you the litmus strip, the little pH strip to take into the bathroom with you,
I'm peeing right on it.
I don't think they want to touch it after. I think that's the big
Well,
issue.
no, you hold it far enough away, and you just kind
There's
of
a lot of room for error.
aim. Or you hold it above and you dip.
I'm not questioning your aim. I'm questioning the doctor's grabbing. 216-859-8699. How do you do your piss tests?
Hi, this is Melissa.
Hey, it's Matt.
Hi guys, my name is Ari.
Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
Come through to a Synergy Naked session.
Synergy Naked is a live performance recording, also captured on video. Look for our releases on YouTube at Synergy Music Studio.
We're located on the south side near Chicago. Passing through.
Hit up our DMs on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Sedan, you left the Rebel radio show
Welcome.
There
How
we
did you
go.
get my mic?
Sorry, I went and I clicked the wrong.
We're live on Cut
Yeah.
and Uncensored here. You know the drill.
Cut my damn mic pretty fucking good. 216-859-8699 to text into the Rebel Hotline. We're
I
brought
can
to
do
you
it again.
by Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago for recording, mixing, mastering, producing, or more. Synergy Music Studio is your one-stop shop. Even if you're not in the Chicago area, take advantage of their reamping service. They will expertly craft a track specific to each client's need. Visit synergymusicstudio.com today to get started for your next EP, single, or album release. Synergymusicstudio.com has you covered. Again, make sure you download the WSRR Radio mobile app in your app store today. Take us with you wherever you go, pairs with your car stereo, or even download the song from the artist you're listening to help support them directly right from the app. That's the WSRR Radio mobile app.
Yes!
In your app store today. Also, don't forget, the 26th of July 26th, that would be the WSRR Rebelthon. From 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 12 hours of live radio, music, guests, interviews, shows, and more right here on WSRR Radio as we try to offset some funds to help support that app and our new radio contract. And go ahead.
Yeah! It was hurting. It's starting to hurt a little bit.
You're squirting a little bit too.
Yeah.
Hurting and squirting. Yep.
Hurting for squirting, you know.
216-859-8699. And once again, that Rebel Hotline to text in. We had a couple during the break that said, wait till you get 50 and you have to do a poop sample.
Ooh.
Ew.
Or you voluntarily do a poop sample as a power move. Show
I'm
up
just giving this to
and
you.
say, I'm taking one.
Yeah. I want you to test my... Can you do that?
Yeah, you can have your shit tested.
You can just walk up into a hospital and say, "Hey, test my poop."
Well, you can,
I've just
you
been-
can
and
request it.
slap it on the table.
Probably. I guess I
It's
don't
like a
see
piss
why
test.
you couldn't. I guess I don't see why... There's no reason that you can't. It's weird, but there's no reason that
You can go and get a physical for no reason.
Yeah, right.
So like you can go and be like, hey, I need a piss test
Right.
for recreation when they
Right.
ask you what it's for.
Recreational piss test.
Just want to make sure that I am clean.
I just wanted to keep it around.
Yeah, I just want to know that I'm not on drugs.
Show off my stats.
So I can show my friends
Yeah.
that I'm sober.
Yeah.
you know?
Trade. Grab a couple. trade
Flex
them
on
with
your
my
friends. Get a piss test.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, next time you get a piss test, can I keep that
Yeah.
after you're done? Can I get
Yeah.
that back? It's like your tonsils, you know?
Oh yeah.
We also got one that said piss in a styrofoam cup is the way to turn it in.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not
So-
good. That's not a good one either. Oh,
Especially if like your piss starts eating through the cup, then you
Oh
don't
my
even need to
gosh.
test. You know something.
yeah, you have toxic piss.
Yeah.
It's my band name.
Yeah, we've all been there. I say in the Faygo bottle personally.
The red pop?
People are dying over the red pop these days.
So I've heard.
There was a holdup in Saginaw, Michigan, right?
Yes.
At a bank. And a man comes in, 30-something-year-old man comes in to rob the bank, ends up holding up, I believe, the teller at gunpoint.
Okay, makes sense. Sounds it's going according to plan.
And has this bank on lockdown, holds it up, and hours. I mean, hours. There's down standoff. Cops are outside the building trying to get the person out safely.
Right.
Trying to get this guy arrested at least. And he starts making demands because it's a hostage situation. I guess that's protocol. You can do that when you got a hostage.
One of the only times I think it's interesting that
That's what I've done.
in hostage situations and on death row, they're like, actually, you know what? What do you want? What are you feeling?
I get the thought process behind it, but like if you've done something bad enough to be on death row, why are we giving you lobster?
That's where I'm going with
Yeah.
this too. Like, obviously, Faygo Red Pop is 99 cents.
That's a delicacy.
But it's cheap. You can get that. That's a dime a dozen, baby. Or 99 cents. That's $10 a dozen, baby. You know?
Listen, there's like nations that collect foreskins and shit. That's cheap.
Ew.
But it's still a legacy. It's still something to cherish, just like the Faygo Red Pop.
You compare Faygo Red Pop to...
Have you tasted Faygo Red Pop?
Yeah, it's definitely...
It's a choice.
I don't...
People are dying over it, Shane.
People are.
So, long story short, this guy wants a Faygo Red Pop for his hostage situation. The only thing he requested, nothing else. It wasn't like, I want wings and some cash and a helicopter to get out of here.
Good for this guy.
He wanted a Faygo Red Pop, 99 cents.
Yeah.
So they fly one in on a drone, and they have it suspended from the drone. The guy goes to reach for the Faygo Red Pop, and they take the shots. The whole plan was, all right, we're going to have this drone fly a little bit out of his reach in front of the window, and he's going to reach for it, and we're going to take our shots.
Which, like, okay, here's my other... Like, if you're the guy...
Faygo guy?
If you're the Faygo guy...
Yeah. A criminal.
If you're the criminal, you... I mean, it's one of those things where they're asking for a Faygo Red Pop, so there can't be Rego Fed Pop.
Yeah.
You laugh? You like that one?
I did like that one.
They asked for a Faygo Red Pop. They can't be that
They got
smart.
a Fed Pop, though.
They got a Fed Pop, though, for sure. But, like, you would think,
Now they
as
got
soon
popped
as
by the
I
feds.
go to the window, as soon as I walk into... As soon as I'm exposed...
Right.
They're going to shoot me. Clearly, he didn't think that.
Well, I mean... I don't think he thought this through, first of all. He
probably didn't think much of anything.
He's holding up
through.
a bank,
Yeah.
so, like, not the smartest person to begin with, right?
Right. I guess that's a fair point.
But also, to your point, yes, like, again, all he wanted was a Faygo Red Pop. Like, that was it. That was the hill he was willing to die on and did.
And did.
So, like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's really thinking this through at any instance. He got his pop, and he was so enamored by it, he didn't give it a second thought. He's like, oh, here it is for me. Never mind that it's suspended from a drone in front of the window that I'm going to have to walk over to get.
Yeah.
Never mind that part of it. I am thirsty. And
That's also
there's only one
suspicious.
thing that can quench my thirst.
I guess it's like a situation of how do you get the red pop over there?
That's, you know, I wonder how many times that was. How am I going to get my red pop? The guy in the store, in the bank, was thinking, how am I going to get my red pop now that I've demanded it?
Well, how are you going to drink the red pop? Wait a minute.
What
You're
do you
holding
mean?
a hostage, dude.
You know, like, guns work at proximity.
Yeah,
You
but
can, like, hey, sit over there while I take a swig.
Yeah, as soon as they take a swig, I'm running. They're off their guard. They're relaxed. They got their red pop in hand.
It's a good day for them.
I'm bolting. I'm running.
You think you're going to have enough time to make it out?
The dude asked for a Faygo red pop. I could probably
You're
walk
right. He's
out.
probably going to drink the whole thing in one chug.
Could probably walk out of there backwards.
Pretty good.
I just don't understand.
Just okay.
At one point, he was asked, "What do you want?" And he goes, Faygo Red Pop." Like, what? How is that the thing that you think of to ask for?
You think the cops laughed?
Well, okay.
I hope so.
No, he's definitely a juggalo. First of all,
Right.
Drinking the
'Cause,
Faygo.
yeah, who else?
It's definitely,
Yeah.
definitely a what are they called?
Juggalo.
Jughead? Aren't they called something?
They're called juggalos.
Yeah,
Juggalos?
Yeah.
I thought they were called something else.
I think
Whatever.
you're treading very dangerous on a racial term.
No.
If you try and say anything else other than juggalo.
I think they're juggalos.
They are.
But I think this guy was probably a juggalo.
Yeah.
Drinking that Faygo Red Pop. I've only ever had Faygo probably like 4 or 5 times.
Was it Red Pop?
I don't think so. But I will say.
So you don't know then?
Cherokee Red's definitely better.
Maybe.
Cherokee Red is definitely better.
So this is gonna sound racist. Growing up, Cherokee Red was a staple at like Christmas parties, things like that.
Yeah.
Big family get-together. Someone always had the 2-liter of Cherokee Red.
Love it.
But no one in my family ever called it Cherokee Red because I guess we couldn't remember the name.
Right.
Called it Red Man Pop.
Yeah, that's not
because it was Red Pop and it had a man on it.
That's...
Not because he was an Indian.
Yes. Sure.
But
also...
Red Man Pop.
Yeah, right.
It worked on 2 levels, you know?
It did.
It's some good marketing.
Cherokee Red was one of my favorite pops ever.
It's
and I
good.
feel like I don't
It'll
see
stain
it.
everything.
Yeah. It's so good though.
Big Red, fucking awful.
Big Red is not bad.
Have you tried it recently?
I guess not recently.
I had it like 4 years ago.
I
Pretty
only
recent.
chew Big Red, buddy.
Yeah, are they different companies?
Legally, how does that work if they are?
That's what I'm saying.
But I think they are. Because like Big Red doesn't taste like cinnamon, but Big Red tastes like cinnamon.
Right. And I know what you mean.
But Big Red tastes like bubblegum was my point. Like I've had it recent enough to where like I expected it to taste like Red Man Pop.
Yeah, right.
But it tasted like bubblegum, and that's why I hated it. It didn't taste like a Red Pop. Like it certainly didn't taste like Faygo Red Pop.
Well, they could have also changed the recipe.
Probably did.
The Red Pops that we grew up on are probably half
different.
illegal.
Well,
I was gonna say there's not gonna be Red Pop for much longer.
Well, no, I wonder if a lot of these Red Pop brands were like, oh, Red 40 is very contentious.
Then that's our main ingredient.
Let's just use some. Like, I wonder if all of the brands that are specifically we make red things moved over to like a different red dye. You know what I mean?
I would bet you. So Red Dye 40. They use other red dyes though, right? Like there's Red Dye 30 and 20.
I have no
5?
fucking clue. I have no idea how food color dyes work.
And Red Dye 40 was just outlawed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always been like that makes you
well because we're the only country that hadn't outlawed it.
Right. For like years, for a long time.
I'd bet you money that if anyone was still using Red Dye 40, it's Faygo Red Pop. I bet you money on that.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Of all of the Red Pop brands.
Of all of the Red Pops.
Yeah.
Faygo Red. It's only 99 cents.
Yeah, Faygo.
They were pumping that shit
definitely.
It was so good.
I'm sidestepping.
Yeah.
I want to try the firework Faygo.
You just told me you didn't like Faygo.
I told you I've only
Moon Mist?
I've only ever had it like a couple times.
Root beer cola?
Moon Mist is just Sprite or like Sierra Mist.
Moon Mist is not good.
I don't need to try cotton candy pop.
Yeah, no, that's gross. Big Red is that.
All of the other ones already exist as another pop flavor.
That's fair.
So I don't need. There's no essential need.
No
to try
one has
Faygo,
ever needed Faygo. Let me make that very clear.
That's Juggalos.
It's true.
But the firework one, I've never seen that before, and I want to try it.
Weird that Faygo's still around. How is that a profitable?
The
Juggalos,
Juggalo.
I guess. Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. The Juggalos are definitely the ones like solely keeping Faygo afloat.
For sure.
Because they'll probably buy pallets of it for like the gathering of the Juggalos.
Them and Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Juggalos probably shop at Dollar Tree.
You think ICP has stock in Faygo? They have to, right?
Absolutely.
I would hope at this point.
Because they're definitely the main like purchasers of it.
Yeah.
Let me know the last time you had a Faygo. 216-859-8699.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
On July 26th, we will be doing a WSRR Rebelthon, our 12-hour radiothon, 12 hours of live radio right here on WSRR Radio. Shows, music, interviews, giveaways, and more. July 26th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We'll be raising money through Venmo for the channel to support the channel. licensing fees, all that jazz. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, July 26th, me and Dom might be doing some live shows. So if you are a Behind Enemy Lines fan, make sure you keep up with that, and you'll get to hear some exclusive content from us that day. Maybe we might do some collabs with some of the other shows. Maybe Shaney from Off Air, maybe Style from the Rebel Radio Show. So keep up with that. Like I said, July 26th, right here on WSRR Radio, 12 hours. And I'm sure you guys will hear advertisements for that across all of our shows right here on WSRR Radio, nationally local, meaning we play your local bands coast to coast on a national stage. Your new home of underground radio right here, WSRR. You make the rules and we will break them.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show.
You Uba-tuba son of a bitch.
Uba-tuba piece of shit. You're a stinky rope.
Clip that.
Not gonna lie, we talked about different red drinks the entire fucking break.
It's a captivating topic. I'm not gonna
Honestly,
lie.
we're gonna do a whole hour on it. On the best red drink.
Next hour, all red pop.
All red pop.
Hell yeah.
Red man pop. And then red Faygo. Red pop Faygo. Faygo red pop.
I feel like I need to try all of the Faygos compared to their like regular. Like I want to try grape Faygo next to grape
Crush.
Right, Grape Crush, and like see which one is.
I promise you, every single time, Faygo is not gonna win.
But they have firework flavor.
Sure.
That's so cool.
Here's what we'll do. We'll do a case study. We'll knock out 2 birds with 1 baseball. Here's what we'll do. Next week, all of the red pop. We'll get Cherokee Red and Big Red and Faygo. And we'll do a case study. Not only will we determine the best red pop, but we will see how the effect of red dye 40 affects a 2-hour radio show.
Oh, gosh.
I wonder if they're. I don't know if I said this on air last, but like, I wonder if they still are used. Like, will there be any red dye 40 in these?
Faygo, I'd put money on it.
Well, yeah, still Faygo.
Probably.
Of course.
I believe there's like there's a certain time period where like these products have to get
you have until
rid
2028.
of-
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, no,
So
you got a long
we
time.
could be consuming red dye 40 for
Like, yeah, you got a
a
couple
while.
years until you got to get it out.
Hey, you guys got to get rid of this, but no rush.
I guess that's
No
like,
rush.
well, I guess that's probably like how long it's in the market.
Shelf
cycle
life,
or
yeah.
Shelf life, right.
216-859-8699 if you've been consuming red dye 40 during this radio show today. Hey, download the WSR Radio mobile app from your app store or go ahead.
Yes!
Or go to WSRRradio.com to get the direct links there as well. We're brought to you by Hellbender Vinyl out of Pittsburgh, PA, the one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants, and help support local and independent artists. So if you want to make your next album release something special, go to hellbendervinyl.com today to get started. We're also brought to you by GenericClothes.com. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Perfect for any occasion or gift. Tell the big brand clothing companies to suck it and have a laugh at their expense with GenericClothes.com. Proud supporters of WSRR Radio and local independent music. Honestly, we could talk about red pop for another 2 hours if we really wanted to.
Really quick, I'll tell the listeners at home. That scream, that's not going to be regular. I'm going to do that for this episode only. That's all you're getting. That shit hurted.
You're going to have no voice by the end of
Yeah.
this, and it's not from talking. It's
Yeah.
just going to be from the screams intermittently.
Like, oh, yeah. Like I smoke.
Well, you do. I mean, you smoke 32 packs of Marlboro
Right.
Reds. No.
Marlboro meth.
Marlboro Meths.
They finally commercialized it. I figured why not try it out?
Hey, you know what? They're selling fucking...
That's the Marlboro Pinks. That's what those are.
They're selling fucking ketamine and shit again now, so why not? Why not Marlboro Meths?
Yeah,
That's the
buddy.
next logical step in the
Yeah,
equation. We could talk about Red Pop for another 2 hours, and
Mm.
honestly, I think that's the most pressing thing in the news.
Yeah, it really, there's nothing else that I can think of that has happened within the span of like the last couple of months.
I mean, you
that's-
want to talk about less serious things? I guess we can talk about Diddy and Epstein.
Yeah, I guess if you want, but that's like silly shit.
We're leaving the Red Pop conversation on the table, but for right now,
Yeah.
we'll focus on Diddy and Epstein.
We're putting the adults to bed. It's time for kitty time.
Yeah, kitty talk time.
Ooh.
Literally. So
Shit.
this
Well, not according to the government.
right. So
yeah, whoa.
one
Okay,
of
we
these is
gotta get all
breaking as of
it.
today. one of these has been out for about a week now. So let's start with the Diddy one.
So
Diddy was acquitted on 3 of his counts.
So okay,
There's 3 of
Sean Diddy
5?
Combs
Yes.
was found guilty of 2 out of 5 of his counts.
Right.
The counts he was found guilty on were, transportation for prostitution involving 2 women. That one was involving Cassie Ventura.
Who is the main woman suing him.
And then the
other one was another prostitution charge.
Yeah, the other one was also prostitution.
One was traveling and one was actually just prostitution.
Each count carry a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. He was acquitted of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and it looks like the judge denied bail on his
on his sentence,
current sentence, and he will remain in custody until sentencing.
Yeah. I feel like what Styles said. He's not gonna serve the full 20.
No,
they'll probably give him the full 20, but
he won't serve.
There's no chance in hell that he serves full 20 years. He'll probably serve 5, 7.
I say he serves maximum a year, and then they give him house arrest or probation, or because you got to think and. The more I thought about this, the more it made sense, because the only other thing Diddy was ever known for was being a fucking narc. That was the only other thing he was ever known for, was working with feds.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, obviously, he's gonna fucking get off scot-free for this shit.
Right.
This is a slap on the wrist.
It is. It's very much a slap on. It's like
it's a joke.
He knew he got away with it, sort of thing.
This is our OJ.
I was literally going to say, this is OJ, this is Casey Anthony, this is
OJ. Well, we were alive for Casey Anthony.
Yeah, but I mean,
we
still.
were young. It's just one of those things where it's like ridiculous, but not surprised, and I think that kind of follows the trend of the next one too.
Right. So the next one, obviously, being Epstein, which I have a lot to say on very specific instances with this.
Well, what specifically happened with Epstein?
Right.
So when it came out early this morning that they do not have any proof of any.
Well, no, yesterday, as of recording, it came out that there is no list. They said there's no Epstein list. There's no one associated with Epstein. We don't have any further information on it. This morning, it was made official that they ruled his death an official suicide after investigation. And they're done. They're done investigating the Epstein cases. Here's my issue.
The FBI has concluded they have no evidence that convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered.
Here's a picture right here of everybody holding the Epstein list, by the way.
Yeah. Well, some of the Epstein.
Yeah, 1/3 of it, or whatever they said.
A piece of it.
Yeah, the 80,000 files that they had initially for the Epstein list, that was only a portion of it. And Pam Bondi said, well, I have the whole thing on my desk, and we're going through it one by one. That didn't exist.
Also,
the one that they held up right there doesn't exist now, is what we're being told.
Wasn't this exact list used in what's-her-face Maxwell's case? Isn't she serving 20 years now?
Yeah, I saw. So I saw this break, and I didn't I didn't see it as it broke or anything like that. But I saw the headline, and I didn't read it, but I was reading through comments, and someone said oh, so then Ghislaine Maxwell can go home, right? She's free, right?
Yeah. At this point, that's what they're saying.
Interesting. Crazy work. Crazy work.
Yeah. She probably does have to be resentenced under the eyes of the law because she was found guilty of a crime and sentenced for that crime. So there's probably how they want to do the Menendez brothers, let them out and all that.
Which is, I think that have we talked about that?
We talked a little bit about it.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah,
fucking
crazy.
Stupid. They murdered. I don't care what the fucking circumstance. They murdered 2 people. They fucking killed 2 people.
Yeah.
I don't care what the circumstances are with Diddy or Epstein. They need to go to fucking prison. Well,
they're in prison.
Well, one of them is.
The other one's dead.
Right. By suicide.
Officially.
Yeah.
Can't believe that. That's so crazy.
The blatant hypocrisy. It just, because everyone knows. And we sat here fucking years ago and said, there's no way, this has been an ongoing investigation for 6 years now.
Right.
For 6 years, we've had no fucking breakthrough on the Epstein files because everybody who's looking into it's on them.
Right.
So for 6 years, we've said, oh yeah, watch the stream. For 6 years.
I know, I'm terrified.
Yeah. For 6 years, we fucking sat here and been taken off air and taken off Facebook and banned from Facebook and had fucking audio deleted and shows taken down because for 6 years, there's been no fucking breakthrough on the Epstein files. Now we finally get to a point where they say we're going to investigate the files. We got to the point where this picture exists right here of 4, 5, 6 different people holding up binders of portions of the list, and Pam Bondi saying we have the files and we're going through them and we're actively looking through the list and we're going to be releasing them periodically, just to fucking turn around and say, oh, there's no list. The thing that I've been talking about for the past 6 months, it doesn't exist. The thing that I said was on my desk that I'm holding in my hand doesn't exist. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Kind of,
So apparently 50 Cent called Diddy the gay John Gotti because he got off on some.
Yeah. I feel like
Diddy will never outlive this, though. I hope.
You
the
would
freak
think
offs,
that-
the
Listen,
you would
bottles
like-
and bottles and bottles
Dude,
of baby
did you
oil.
see-
People are buying Chris Brown tickets, so he'll be fine.
Did you see the people celebrating outside of the courthouse with the
there was-
baby oil?
Wait, what?
People
are
were
celebrating.
People were like dumping baby oil on people and like not unconsented, but
Right.
like celebrating and dumping baby oil and like dancing.
As if someone had won the Daytona 500 with champagne. Yeah.
There was like a standing ovation in the
Yes.
courthouse. It looked like a movie scene. Like
yeah.
But
So
the protagonist is winning.
right.
I don't know how much payoff what's happened here. I want to know who got paid what.
There has
Because
to
there was a
be-
jury, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
a judge decision. A jury
Yeah.
decided this.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, the jury just it was a jury.
There was a jury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably they all did then.
Right.
I would guess. I don't know. I don't know.
That or every single person on that jury needs to be tried and investigated for being a pedophile.
Did they have like? It's one of those things where I really do wonder like how much people get threatened IRL. I was just having a conversation with someone of like, how much crime do you think that you see just happened, or like that person walking down the street just did something that was super illegal, but obviously we don't know because we're driving and that person's on the side of the, like.
I think about that all the time because like there's people who will find like people who have been kidnapped because they're waving their hand out of the trunk.
Right,
Sometimes I
right.
think, oh, there could just be people
Right.
in somebody's trunk
Right.
driving around me.
And so my point being is like shit like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so to shit like getting shaken, like being a juror and getting shaken down by
Being a juror
3
in
or 4
this
fat ass
trial?
thugs, like
Right.
big fat ass thugs being like, you're gonna say this, and that's how it's gonna go. Otherwise, these pictures of these people that are
Right.
like
Yeah.
like does shit like that happen?
The jurors in this
I don't
trial have to have been like shitting bricks and paid off 100%.
My problem is the same thing is going to happen with us that do with Epstein. It's all going to be swept on the rug in under a year.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to say, yeah, that was fucked up. Anyway, the next news story. That's
think,
my problem. And what we should be doing is going and investigating the fucking jurors and
Yeah.
how they came to this conclusion.
I think it will be split. Like you said, Chris Brown's still selling tickets. There are people who have very famously done bad things and are still infamous, right?
Mhm.
Infamously done
Yeah.
bad things and are still very famous. And I think it will just get a split reaction down the middle. I think that there will be people like us who are like, this is absolutely atrocious and fucked up and
Normal, smart people.
the world is wrong. And I think that there will be people who are very okay with ignorance is bliss and turning the other cheek and separating art from artist. And I think that's just the reality of it. I think that's how like most everything is today. I don't think that there is anything that is ever as cut and dry as even we make it out to. Like, obviously we are all very like-minded people, and so we say like, this shit's crazy, this shit's dumb, what the fuck is going on? There are people who are like, yeah, but Puffy's last album wasn't bad and he could come back. Or there are women
Which
who are
is
like, yeah,
crazy.
but and get even freakier, I bet that there are women who are like, yeah, but if I just hang around his shows enough, I will get invited to a freak off and I will be a part of that.
Right.
Like, people
Yeah.
people wanting to be a part of that shit, and especially now that it's had light on it, even more people are going to be like, you know what? This is how I get famous, or this is how I make money.
Ugh.
I'm waiting. 2 thoughts. I'm waiting for this trial to result in a slap on the wrist punishment, where it's going to be like maybe a year in a minimum security prison and 6 months house arrest, and then I'm waiting for him to flee the country.
I think that he'll probably try to flee the country at some point. I think or like he'll find like a legal loophole to be in another country, and how did I get here sort of thing. I think that he will probably get the book thrown at him though, just for the fact that only 2 of them stuck, and so I would bet the courts are getting a lot of pushback from that of like, what the fuck? Only 2 of 5? Are you kidding me?
But I don't know if they are, because they could have gotten a pat on the back from the FBI.
Yeah, but I feel like
good job, buddy.
I was gonna say, the FBI just fucking told us that the Epstein shit doesn't exist. So
there are people in the courthouse though who definitely think like us and are like, hey, something weird is going on. Like it's not all hush hush.
Right.
They're definitely getting some push, and so I do think that he's getting the full. At least if I had to take a stab, I'd say he probably gets the full 20 and then gets off on 5 or 2 and 3 on house arrest and then flees. How long has
he already been in? Because he's going to get that time served, guaranteed.
6 months or something like that?
Probably a little over 6 months. Not a year, but a little over 6 months.
They're going to give him
that's
that
gonna count
time
towards
off.
it. Yep.
Yeah. And especially because he was denied bail, that time in jail automatically comes off if you don't go, if you don't take bail.
Second point. All of these people who came out and spoke out against him, these celebrities that came out and spoke out against him and tried to actively expose him, if they don't follow up with what the fuck are we doing? Why is he getting a slap on the wrist and continue to pursue this further? If they don't continue to pursue this further, fuck them too.
Right.
Fuck them too. If you have someone like, I don't remember the whole situation with Justin Bieber, but he was pretty vital in exposing all this, right?
Yeah, I think he was just kind of like the one that was there, being so young.
He was the child in the room.
Right.
Notably the youngest one there, and now is also still super famous, so he can kind of be like... People are like, oh, wait a minute. You were a part of that Diddy thing, weren't you?
So like if him and everyone else that were on the side of like, this is a bad dude, don't continue to push that.
And that random one little girl that we talked about months ago. You remember
that? She was on like live stream with him.
Oh yeah.
And he was being like, this is my new daughter or something like that. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, so if all these people that came and spoke out against this don't continue to and don't push the fucking...
Oh, there'll be people.
Fuck them.
There'll still be people. I'm sure
but
that...
I would bet you more of them just roll over and go, well, that's over now.
Probably a good portion of them. But, like, there will be people who are going to be fighting this. And, like, I would assume he gets, like, laughed at by a majority of people. Like, brought up in conversation as the punchline sort of thing. You know, in big... events, or if a comedian is at an award show hosting, Diddy's the punchline now. You know, he's a super easy punching bag, and everyone who's right-minded would be like, yeah, that's fucked up, you know.
And in 2 years he'll be sitting in the audience laughing along with it. They'll be making the jokes with him in the room, and he'll be laughing along with it.
Maybe. I don't know. I could genuinely see him like fleeing, or like just keeping a low profile for the rest of his life, you know. Look at someone like
that would be the hope.
Kevin Spacey got caught for doing all that weird shit with minors.
Well, that was actually all proven.
I was gonna say, didn't he get acquitted for all that shit and it was fake?
Yeah.
But he still got got black. Yeah, like you didn't see him anywhere. He was part of like the biggest Netflix show at the time, and he was just gone.
Wasn't he like one of the first though?
He was like the first big one.
So I think we all just kind of attacked him, and then everybody else who's come after that were like, that's Hollywood.
I was just using Kevin Spacey as an example, but there have definitely been people who have been like quote unquote canceled who were huge, and now we just don't talk about them anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're dead.
James Franco?
Yeah, right. James Franco is
James Marsden?
There are still people there are still who's the guy who liked eating people?
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh, no. Army Hammer.
Army Hammer. He was like an A-list celebrity. I mean, he was in the runnings to be Green Lantern.
Listen, we talked about all Ezra Miller shit, and we had people defending him on the YouTube comments on our fucking channel.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's one of those things
And then here's
where
The Flash.
like parasocial and The Flash didn't do bad in theaters.
No.
It's
And
one
it
of
was
those
a
things
good
where
movie.
it was. Parasocial relationships and like fan bases,
Yeah.
fandoms, you know what I mean? The One Directioneers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That is where shit like Diddy and Chris Brown and like the obviously bad people who keep coming back and they're like, oh, I'll just make an album and send an apology. It's like that's the issue, you know?
And that's never going to go away. There's
No.
still people that'll fucking advocate for Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
It's 2025, and there's people that go, yeah, he did something bad, but wasn't he good in the ring? You don't think the one overshadows the other? You don't
Yeah,
think
right.
one's more important?
Yeah, I mean, Punk got cheered at Night of Champions.
It's true. It's true.
Literally. Like, and the marks were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I just don't think he's going to fucking... I don't think anything's actually going to come of this.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. I think, again, it'll be a slap on the wrist for maybe a year or two. And then it'll be right back to it.
In the judicial system, he'll get like a slap on the wrist
He
in
might
terms
get
of
5 years.
Yeah, I think.
Well, and here's the important part that we're talking about both of these today, the Epstein and the Diddy thing together, and how close in proximity they came.
Right.
The Epstein verdict this morning,
Mm-hmm.
set the precedent now of someone like a Diddy or anyone that was on this Epstein list going, oh, well, we saw, everyone knew about Epstein.
Right.
It was publicized for half a decade
Right.
how bad this dude was and all the things he did, and the court turned around and said, nope, didn't happen. So
Right.
we've set the precedent now. What stops someone from Diddy like going back to this? What stops anyone on that list from continuing to do this? Because they go, oh, well, the federal government ruled it's fine. Didn't happen. If we wait long enough people will forget and it'll blow over.
Well, and I think kind of too, that's part of why I say like, I think Diddy's going to kind of fall off the radar intentionally because I would have to assume that life is much easier for him to get back into and much more profitable as opposed to him trying to be famous again.
That's fair, yeah.
And show up at like the VMAs.
He
and-
will probably be worse going forward.
Right. Like he's going to lay low in Tijuana or something
Yeah.
like that. And he's going to do the same shit.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
He's going to lay low on Epstein's island.
And he's going to make the same amount of money.
Diddy
you know?
buying Epstein's island?
Literally. Diddy Steen?
Diddy Island?
Ep Diddy?
Ep Diddy.
Oh,
God,
no.
yeah.
They're transforming.
They're becoming one.
Oh God, it's Ep Diddy.
I know a lot of people were of the opinion that Epstein killing himself, in air quotes, in
Mhm.
prison was terrible because he didn't get the punishment he deserved. He took the easy way out, right?
Sure.
I hope that whatever small time Diddy has in prison, his cellmates and prison mates make it the worst experience possible. But again, I think it
Well-
will be very much minimal security. You're in your own private cell, pampered, three nice meals a day.
From what I read, Diddy's lawyer said that when he got back to the jail that night, there was an eruption of applause. So
Yeah.
Who was OJ's lawyer?
Rob Kardashian.
Rob Kardashian. Yeah.
Didn't he have another lawyer?
No. Rob Kardashian.
That
was
was his
different
buddy.
thing.
That was
It was
famous.
Yeah, I forget his name.
The
but-
Chewbacca defense.
Yeah.
I thought it was Rob Kardashian.
Rob Kardashian was for like some of it, and then the other guy stepped in.
Oh, okay.
I think like halfway through or something like that. The other guy stepped in and started spinning the story to make OJ seem like a good get the people on OJ's side. And that's
Gotcha.
why there was such a big outcry.
It's crazy. It really is like, but it's not like people weren't murdered. But
I mean, people probably were murdered.
yeah, we have no
This is
idea.
this is sex trafficking. I mean, let's call it what it is. Like, people were definitely like
Yeah.
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran.
Young women definitely have died from these two people.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't
I
know
agree.
that for sure, but highly, highly likely
You're probably right.
that young women have died on the accounts of, and it's one of those things where like the CEO of that insurance company didn't deny
Right.
those people, but Luigi Mangione did what he did.
shot
You
him
know what I
anyway,
mean?
right.
Yeah.
Right. Like Jeffrey Epstein might not have directly murdered people, but he was definitely at the top of some ring.
I was
that
going to say, I think there's enough connections that you can make very close to Epstein.
Right.
No, you can't. They don't exist.
Yeah, right. There's enough connections you can make with Epstein, and we've done episodes that have gotten taken down about that, where people have died.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's pretty close relation to Epstein and the people that were behind the trigger. But this lawyer for OJ, he's the next Johnny Cochran, was going to be my point.
The lawyer for Diddy.
Yeah, the lawyer for Diddy, sorry. 216-859-8699. Hey, what's your favorite Red Pop? Everybody is trying to push something. You pushing P?
Hey, pushing E.
What are you pushing? 216-859-8699. Of course, the Rebel Hotline works for the Rebel Radio Show live every Monday right here on WSRR Radio. And all of our shows that we stream 24/7, 365 on WSRR Radio, like Shaney's Off Air.
That is me.
You can get shows like The Pigeonhole with The Pidge. You can get Behind Enemy Lines. That's your Cleveland sports show from Pittsburgh every morning at 10 a.m. during the week. Or True Vault Escapades, your Fallout-based radio drama at 10 p.m. during the week from Preston Harden and his crew. For full showtimes, schedules, and more, WSRRradio.com. And to take us with you on the go wherever you go, download the new free WSRR Radio mobile app.
Last time, guys.
Yeah, boy!
I wanted to make it a yeah boy for the last time.
Well, you can download that from your app store or WSRRradio.com, where you can also find links to all of our amazing sponsors like Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago, Hellbender Vinyl out of Pittsburgh, PA, and GenericClothes.com. You also make sure to join our Discord server there to stay in the loop and in contact with all of us here on WSRR Radio and your fellow listening audience for a whole bunch of different conversations, categories, and more. And don't forget, mark your calendars for July 26th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, 12 straight hours of live radio. It's the WSRR Rebelthon. That's live shows, music, guest interviews, giveaways, and more. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you have that number saved, 216-859-8699, as we'll be giving away stickers and exclusives all day long for the WSRR Rebelthon on July 26th. But until next time, I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. My red is Shaney.
Bye, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Adios.
Peace.
Break the